Yeah, they did, and we knew it was going to be a fight. We did not overlook this team by any stretch. We've seen them play, and they play so physically, and they play so well together. They play really hard, and they've got players, man. I'm telling you, this is a good Cougar team. So this is going to prove to be a good win for us. Think about it. I don't know when the last time is we played a close game. I mean, we had a lot of blowouts late last year, and we haven't had many close ones this year. And I know a lot of people wondered how we would handle playing in a close game. Well, I think we showed them that we'll be fine. We've got playmakers, we've got kids that can execute when we need to, and at both ends of the floor. I was really proud of the team.
Yep. Yeah, Coach, I think one of the things in this game, it was a rough and tumble game. It was very physical. You really earned whatever you got from Washington State. I really was impressed with your team at the end of the game when you took some timeouts and got them settled. You go from having all this intensity of battling, and then you got to come and be composed and execute. Tell us a little bit about how you felt about that, because it was pretty awesome.
Well, I thought our kids did really well out of timeouts. I think our first two timeouts, we scored on that first possession out, got what we wanted out of it, including a Bowley three right at the top of the key, which was important. You nailed it. We showed some composure there at the end, and defensively, we were fortunate on the last play. They got a pretty good 3-point look that I wish they wouldn't have gotten. But again, we made the plays, and we deserve a lot of credit. Those kids do.
Sure.
Coach Nyarasabali, 19 points and 14 rebounds. She was a beast today.
She was, yeah. There no question about that. And I bet you she would kick herself because I think she left a couple of baskets out on the court. She's got to just be a little bit more patient. We've got to get her to the ball just a little bit deeper so she can just turn and score. But she was big tonight. I was, yeah, and we needed it. We needed that inside presence.
Yeah, one last one here, Coach. How valuable is this, a learning experience for a relatively young team you have? I mean, it's very valuable. You got tested and you passed the test with a win.
It's huge. When you've kind of had your way with our first 5 opponents or 6 opponents, I guess now, there's a tendency to just kind of go through the motions a little bit. I think we play hard, but they kind of roll in here and they know that we're pretty good. And this is good. This is an eye opener for them, and a humbling experience. But they passed the test, and that in the end, that's what it is. It's not going to be perfect every night. And I want to give hats off to Washington State. That's a good basketball team. I mean, and we've already seen it. They thumped the Huskies on the road, and they beat our Beavers the other night. So they're obviously a really good team. This was not a fluke by any stretch.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the win, 7-0, 5-0 in the conference, and have a safe trip home and a good holiday, by the way, for everybody.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
All right.
All right, Coach, we're going to start with Rob Mosley. Go Ducks.
AG, you guys are the hunted in this league, and yet you're relying on a lot of players who weren't necessarily here when you became the reason that you're the hunted. But do you feel like your freshmen in particular and the transfers have a sense that you're going to get the opponent's best shot every?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, we're still a nationally recognized elite program, the 3-time defending Pac-12 champions, right? And we're off to a 7-0 start, regardless of how good that was tonight. We're 7-0 going into Christmas break, including 5-0 in conference play. I'll take that any goddamn day of the week. And I think our kids they've understood that. And I think our freshmen stepped up. I thought Maddie Shear did a great job defensively. She was on the floor late in the game. And then she knocked down 2 free throws that, for all intents and purposes, iced the game. I thought Pau was much better in that second half than she was in the first. And, and then obviously Nyara down the stretch. So it was a lot of new faces. So this is a good one for us, buddy. And we better realize that it gets real in a hurry. Now we've got the LAs, the Bay Area, and the Arizonas back to back to back to start the new year. That's not going to be easy.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach, probably not a bad way to send them out on break, obviously with the win, but with, kind of a realization of what the future holds, like you just said. What is your message going to be here in a couple of days when you do kind of send them out on their own?
Well, they're leaving from here, so we're done. We've already said our goodbyes. We've got most of them are headed home for Christmas. I think the week off will be good. I just think they need this break mentally as much as physically, and I hope that they're really excited when they come back. They seemed pretty upbeat. I think we know we could play better, but they seem pretty upbeat, and I just hope we're refreshed. And when we get back, it gets real. We have the Bruins coming into town, I think, in our very first game. So we've got to continue to get better. I think we're better today than we were even a month ago, aside from the score. Who cares? Everybody plays close games from time to time. So I'm pleased with where we're at. I think defensively tonight, when we needed to make stops, we did. We were much better in that second half.
Jerry Thompson, Ducks Illustrated.
Congratulations, Coach. You mentioned it. I was going to ask you about how the confidence you kept in Pau, even though she really had a tough game for most of it, so she hit that big shot. And then Maddie Shear being in there, those two freshmen down the stretch. I assume she was mainly for her defense to try to knock or hold down their top scorer.
Yeah, Maddie's been our best defender, through the first 3 or 4 months of our practice and season. She's our best on-ball defender. And so, yeah, she was going to be on. Plus, I thought she had played well tonight. So she was going to be on the floor there at the end. I don't think we had much of a question there.
Time for a couple more. Back to Eric.
I just want to ask about the clutch shots. You guys haven't been in many tight games. How do you think you're obviously you hit some big ones, but how do you think they responded in those moments?
Oh, I thought it was great. I mean, Boley's 3-point shot in the corner was huge. I think she needed that. She had a couple of tough games in a row, and I think she needed that for her confidence. And she's going to have to be that player, that wins games like that for us down the stretch, knowing that she's on the court. We had Mike Sell on there as well on the offensive side. I believe in her as well. And then Niara inside. So I thought we had our best unit on the court, the offense and defense late in the game. So, and they proved that to be the case. They stepped up and made good plays.
One more, back to Eric.
I asked you this right before this road trip, these 3 games, Oregon State, Washington State. Where do you kind of feel like room for improvement is needed? I think I said a couple of things back then. Do you kind of agree, or where's your head at that way?
Well, I wish we'd play with a little bit more attitude, a little bit more toughness. I thought we got pushed around a little bit tonight. They were quicker to the ball. They were more aggressive. You could tell they kind of wanted it maybe more than us. Now, we kind of fixed that, I thought, late in the game, certainly. Second half, we played with a little bit more emotion and kind of urgency. But for the most part, that's one of the areas. I think we got to continue to do a better job on the defensive rebounding. That's we've kind of let that slip in the games the last 2 or 3. We were at a plus 14 rebounds a game, I think, going into this trip, and that's shrunk a little bit. And then, I think offensively, I think we can get more out of transition. I'm not sure we're really pushing the ball and attacking the basket like we need to in transition. So those are the areas that I looking at the tape, and I have a lot of time now. We won't practice now for at least a week. They're going to be off for a week. We'll have an opportunity to see a lot of film. All right. Hey, Erin's here, and she deserves a lot of time. Hey, I will not see you this time, but you guys, wish you a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.